There's a gentleman right at the very, very back with his hand up. Sorry to make right from the front row, right to the back row, and then we'll get you guys in between. Right at the very back, Jim, with the.
Sorry. Hey guys, thank you very much for being here. Congratulations on a fantastic film. My question's to Sly. I think obviously there's a lot of new faces in this film, both young and old, and it really feels like there's a real kind of spirit of passing of the torch with this one. I wondered if you can talk a little bit about the people you brought on board and how much that kind of spirit inspired the film. And, yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'll just speak quickly, but I think they should explain it themselves. I felt that it's at a point where we needed to upgrade and retool and bring actors that are known for their physicality, but they're also incredibly dramatic actors, nominated actors, actors that have done films almost in every genre. And I thought this would be interesting. Also, the age factor is that youth must be served. So we brought in the new generation, and it's almost like a parental thing. All children think they know the answers. They get into trouble. Parents come to save them, then they save their parents. Anyway, so it has a kind of a family situation going. But what did you bring to it, my friend? You, I'm talking to you, and you too, yes.
What I bring to it, I see these type of movies always with the possibility to have a wink of an eye to the audience. I brought comedy. I saw possibilities in the character to just make people have comical relief during the movie. I talked to Sly at the beginning, and the character was designed in a way that allowed me to do that very clearly. And he says, you do whatever you want. And so I started playing with that idea in mind. I ended up improvising a lot. I mean, this guy became kind of a compulsive talker. This is a weapon of mass destruction of talking. And just, when I saw my fellow actors start rolling eyes, I said, yes, I am there. You know, I mean, they just wanted to strangle me, you know, basically in every scene. And that actually provokes some laughter. Basically, the character is just hiding something painful inside, and that's his way to do it. But I thought it could be just adding a new color to everything that was on the screen already.
Wesley, what did you feel like you brought to it? Because we've worked together in Demolition Man, we know each other very, very well.
I've been waiting to work with you ever since.
No, thank you.
You were busy, and I was busy.
Really? Where were you, bro?
Yeah. You know, and the opportunity to work with the whole squad of extremely talented and iconic action guys and actors, I was looking forward to that. But I, like Antonio, tried to bring a little bit of humor to the character, and you know, a little bit of my martial arts action where I could get some in and have a great time at the same time. Yeah.
And Kellan, was there a sort of...
Brought a little bit more color to the...
Yeah. For me, there's a duality between Barney Ross and, you know, John Smiley for me. You know, you never really see the young Barney, and there's an essence of who John is and how he becomes, and, you know, throughout the journey of the script and potentially, you know, in 4, 5, 6 through 10, ideally, you'll see that develop in him open up a bit more. And so, you know, my character, he doesn't smile. You know, he has a lot of weight on his shoulders from his past, and, you know, Barney Ross gets in there. You know, he's one of the few that can actually get in there, and, you know, so my character is more of the drama queen, I guess, but he'll open up. He will.
Through 10, is that a confirmation we're going through 10?
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yes.
You heard it here first. And Jason, as someone who's been there from the very beginning, an Expendables staple, how do you react when all these youngins come on board and new members of the cast?
I welcome it. I think it's necessary. It's a necessary evil. You gotta do it. You know, let them get beat up for a while. It's great. We love that. No, it's wonderful. For example, Ronda Rousey's not here, but there was, you know, debate. Well, Ronda Rousey, she's not really an actress. She's a fighter. I said, no, she's a new kind of entertainer, and we're now becoming a lot of us are hybrids, whereas you're Antonio's directed, he's written, he writes, and so does Wesley, and Jason has all these other sides to them. And I thought, well, let's take someone from a world MMA. And I couldn't have been luckier or more right. This girl is one of a kind. She's very sexy, and she also can tie you into a knot and retie you and be charming. And she's, still raw and learning on the job, but we've got something special. Then you have Victor Ortiz, who's like a real world champion. You have real world champions in here. You have professional athletes who've been on championship teams. So you have just a hybrid instead of just all actors, because I don't think it could have been accomplished if it was just all actors. There's some skills there that take an entire lifetime to learn, and that's what we're blessed with by getting to employ those skills.
Absolutely. And Jason, do you want to weigh in on that one?
I think you said it better than anybody else.
I'll have what he's having.
Yeah.
Yes, please, just lady here in the second row. Thank you.
Lauren, Now Magazine. So you're all like really manly, like grr men. But I want to know what the girl. I want to know what the girliest thing about you all is. Like any manicures between you? How many bubble baths do you have?
All right, let me ask you, when's the last time you had a manicure?
I've never had one, mate.
Please.
I only have the pedicure.
A mani-pedi? Pedi man?
Usually we buff it along a curbstone like this, getting out of a car.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty filthy.
Well, I like manicures.
There's a gentleman here in the front row.
John Mosby, Impact Magazine. You joked about 4 through 10, but how far do you plan in advance? Do you get ideas and think, oh, that will go for the next movie? And bearing in mind that there's talk of an Expendables at some point,
okay.
Are there any women that you would like to see in that?
Yes, there are. And we're now starting to see that you don't have to, again, totally depend on actresses per se, pure. You're going to need a certain kind of physicality to pull that off. Getting back to how many Expendables, Avi, what's the deal? How many do you want?
About 27.
Okay. Jason, how many do you have patience for?
Patience for what, Sly?
Well, how many Expendables before it says, all right, I'm done? I want to be an Expendables.
Well, the idea is to make at least another 2 or 3, and then we'll see.
No, in other words, I'm joking here, but we'd like to just continue this because it's an ongoing experiment, too. You have a great franchise in the Avengers and all that situation where you can branch off and do other things. Ideally, I would love to see some of these characters like Antonio or the Young Expendables go off and do their own movies. I know that's maybe a pipe dream, and then you come together for the big festival of violence or the great challenge of whoever the villain is. But that would be the ideal. So I think it all depends on this one here. But I could definitely see 1.5 at least more, maybe 2 more, and then you never know. But the third one I've always found is when I started doing films that would have been franchised, I was ridiculed for it. We all were. It's like, oh, but I was always intrigued with television because how can they do 10 years of the same character, All in the Family, same location, and yet you watch it, but you do one film, you go, oh, that could be that's the end. Some films are designed like that, but other films you have characters that continue to grow and manifest different personality changes. Now with Expendables, you got a situation here where we're in uncharted waters. To put all women together, will that really work? Or do you have to put in perhaps some women that are actually really known to be tough, other MMA fighters? And then are the Expendables really part of a divorce with Barney and say Sigourney Weaver, who's my wife, and she inherited half the Expendables. So that's like, oh, I got to deal with that too. I lost the house and my mercenaries in the group. Oh my God. So it's all these things you're trying to concoct. So when we do it, it doesn't just languish there as like, oh, it's just a use of the name. It actually is something that would hold its own. So.
Sounds like you'd like to face off against the Avengers ultimately, Sly. Is that the idea? Expendables versus the Avengers. That's where you're going.
Yeah, yeah. If we could, we'd be the Earthbound Avengers.
There's a gentleman here in the front row, the blue shirt. Thank you. And then we'll stay in the front row as well.
It's a question for Wesley. The previous two Expendables, they've always accentuated the enjoyment that they've had on set, and it's been a real sort of locker room atmosphere. And I wondered whether that was a relief making your comeback, whether to come into that sort of atmosphere where it was very blokey and you could make a joke of things.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love it. I loved it. I mean, it's like you can imagine being on an Olympic team or an Olympic sports team of some sort, where you got some of the best players all playing at the same time. So you get the same kind of interaction and interplay and crack jokes with each other. And all of these guys are quite funny in their own right. So, yeah, there's a lot of fun with it.
Good, so you don't mind that I'm writing Escape from Alcatraz 2 for you? We'll have to talk.
Yes, please, right here in the front row as well. There's another guy beside you.
Question for both Sly and Avi. Getting back to the Expendables, I was talking to Jacqueline Bissett this morning, and she'd love to play the villain if that film ever comes off.
We never thought about as a villain, but look, about Expendables, we are right now in the finalize of the script. We have got lots of idea about who is going to be all the action movie star ladies, women, and we're planning to do it beginning of next year. And that's all I can say about this movie right now.
Yes, please.
Sylvester, you're the godfather of the Expendables franchise. How do you balance working on the script and then getting all these wonderful actors to join you? How do you tailor it to suit their skills?
Well, you just hit it. It's really a finite number of actors that I think that bring a certain kind of cachet or personality that blends. So you try to not get two of the same, if you know what I mean. And I have long-term relationships with people that I didn't realize how far they go back. But I thought, oh, okay, we've done Expendables 1 and 2. Now we have to up the game. I think Antonio hasn't done an action film, but he's very physical. He can do it. So to answer your question, it's very, very time-consuming. It takes a long time to convince some people, a lot. Literally, you're calling them on your birthday, and you're there for like 4 hours going, yeah, you know, it's my birthday. Do me a favor. Would you say, yes, it's my birthday. I'm talking to you from. And you do a lot of begging and cajoling, and it's wild. And some just immediately, you know, I call Harrison Ford, okay, I'm in. And then Mel wants to know about the part. Originally, I wanted Mel to direct. And I thought, but Mel is such a great director, and everything is so personal, it has to come from him. But he goes, I wouldn't mind playing a villain when, sold. Sold.